Hello and welcome everybody to episode 148 of today's News Tonight. This is, of course, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our amazing YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host for today, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend and GVG co-founder, Derek Bittner, along with our very special guest, gaming content creator and consultant, Asa Greenriver of Borderline Entertainment, returning to the show for the second time. How's it going, Asa?
It's good. It's good. I was just telling Derek before this, I'm here. I've got a lot of, this has been the year of change. Everyone thought that was 2020. Nope. It's 2021. So no, I'm super glad to be here. I'm happy that you all reached out and had me back on. If I can throw a quick plug, you said of Borderline Entertainment,
Please.
and that's 1,000% true. You can find my personal content in Borderline Entertainment as well as other people that I try to lift up there. But I also want to shout out the games and online harassment hotline that I work for. And I know that Jay was on this show probably a couple months back. Our programs director, Jay, was on. And so that is a free text-based emotional support hotline. So you just text support to 23368. And there we've got agents that can talk to you about, whatever you have going on. So it's made for people who make or play games. I also work with Take This, a mental health org within games. I am the community manager for Waking Oni Studios, and we have Onsen Master coming out later this year. And then, as you said, also a game consultant. And my camera. There we go. And I can't say exactly what the game is yet, but I'm super excited to finally talk to somebody about some Indigenous representation in games because we need more of it.
That's awesome.
We need more of it.
Yes, we do.
And we're here. So don't just appropriate our culture. Ask us. You now know you have an official Indigenous consultant. And there's many more of us.
There.
Ask us.
Or there. I guess there. Whatever.
So well said. I mean, diversity and representation are both so important to us, as part of GVG's culture, and but it's important that it comes from the right people as well. It can't just be people, appropriating other people's culture for that diversity. It should be coming from the people themselves. And I'm so glad that you're getting a chance to do such important work like that, Asa.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been so great to have you all and a bunch of other people reach out to say, hey, you know what? We want to help lift up those voices too. And in fact, Twitch reached out to me earlier this year about, hey, do you want to put on a showcase for Indigenous peoples? And we did that on October 9th. So you can actually watch that 6-hour showcase on my Twitch channel. You can watch that in bits and pieces. And there were creators from spanning the gamut, dancing, music, food, art, gaming, everything.
That's
it was
awesome.
incredible.
That's awesome.
So, and then more to come in November. So super excited about all that.
You had me at food.
So exactly. I heard food ooh.
There's amazing recipes in there. Shout out to Indigikitchen Kitchen for being a part of that.
Sounds so good. Just really quick before we move on with the show, I want to do some quick housekeeping. As you have already noticed, our awesome, wonderful co-founder and good friend Steve Bowling is not here today, and you may have already seen his announcements on Twitter. But basically, without going into it too heavily, he's just had to step away from TNT specifically a little bit to make more time for his family, which of course Derek and I and Brandon and Daniel, all of us, obviously support. We've always said that GVG, is all about family and mental health and health first, and so we obviously very much support Steve in his need to focus a little bit more on his family. And to be clear, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be he's going to be doing videos, non-TNT videos, all of our Patreon perks, executive producer streams, Fighter Founder sessions. He's still here, and he's still one of our co-founders. But TNT specifically, he is scaling back to 1 episode per week. He'll be on every Friday. But yeah, just to let you know, he's fine, but he just needs to spend more time with his family. And of course, we love and respect him for that. And, family first. And that's has always been one of our guiding principles here at GVG. So just wanted to make sure everyone knows that. Because of that, TNT will be in a relative state of fluctuation for the next few weeks as we figure out how to, run the show with different people when Steve isn't around and Brandon's not around. So not every Patreon perk will be part of every episode for a little while, like the Promote a Pet stuff, the credit scroll, because we're all on different equipment and stuff, but we are figuring it out. It is a work in progress, and just wanted to let you know about that. And thank you so much to all of our patrons for being so incredibly kind and patient as we kind of go through this period of transition.
I'll have to take some time to try to figure out and get all that hopefully set up. My machine is currently lumbering forward. For anybody who's familiar with my personal streams, it is wacky at times, but seems like a lot of that was exploit causing me issues, and I've switched over to OBS, and that seems to have fixed some things, but there's still some issues in my computer that's like, I'm probably going to need to upgrade at some point, but I am not, I am not a PC guy, so we'll just hang in there as much as I can. So sorry for the lo-fi, I guess we'll put it, episode.
And as everyone knows, I'm still on a MacBook Pro that I love, but is not good for streaming. So we're still trying to get me on a PC streaming setup. And once I am, I'll be able to run the show myself as well and get a crash course from Steve and Brandon and all that good stuff. But speaking of our patrons, we do have a sponsor for today's episode. Normally, Eddie, the Game War, sponsors Monday's episodes. But as you know, we didn't have an episode Monday because that was Sora's release day in Smash. So we're moving his sponsorship to today instead, and that is The Game Orb, is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While they are still running Let's Plays of Splatoon 2 and Super Mario 64 from Super Mario 3D All-Stars, they're also adding new games like Sonic Colors Ultimate and Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Also, there are now shorter videos in the playlist called the Game Orb Minis for clips that are highlighted. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description, as well as their friend Galactic Reaper. And of course, as usual, I'm getting those links into the chat right now. Well, at least I'm... that didn't work. 1 second.
It's an attempt. Buddy. In the meantime, I do want to, while you're fiddling with that, I do want to take the time to raise a bit of to a story that we're not going to be covering. The whole thing with Hamster and their copyright that came out about was it console classics or is they do typically do the arcade. Those arcade re-releases on Switch and PlayStation, and now they've apparently done a copyright for console. Which console ports
exciting
from Hamster.
Stuff.
That'd be console
that
archives.
Sounds
that's
interesting.
It. That's
right.
Not enough to have a full story, but it's one of those things where it's I want to see what they do.
Right. Yeah. Same. No, that's really exciting. Didn't quite make the cut for our stories today, but I'm glad you brought that up, Derek. Also, as I was saying, links to the Game Orb and Galactic Reaper's channels are pinned now in the chat. And thank you, as always, Eddie, for your incredible sponsorship of the channel, of the show from the very beginning. It means the world to us, and we love you. So thank you so much. As a quick reminder for everybody, we're giving away a Switch OLED at 75,000 subs when we hit it right here on YouTube. All you got to do is be subscribed when we hit that milestone, and you might want a free Switch OLED. Not a bad deal. But with that said, we do have some news to get to. So, shall we move on, gentlemen?
We shall.
Let's do it.
We shall.
Let's do it. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get that first story up on screen, which is way past cool. All right. So, if you recall, Netflix is working on an animated series called Sonic Prime. It is the next animated adventures for Sonic, the next incarnation of his cartoons.
He's had so many cartoons.
And, so many.
Yeah, he's had so many. And Sonic Boom was great, but if this bit of news is anything to go by, Sonic Prime could be even better, if not at least as good. And that is because Ian Flynn has been revealed to be consulting on Sonic Prime. And Ian Flynn, as you'll know, was so hugely influential in the Archie Sonic comics, and was so responsible for a lot of the original universe stuff that came from the comics, which themselves were based on the Saturday morning cartoon. Mm-hmm. So Ian Flynn is a very popular name in the Sonic fandom generally, and so to hear that he's attached to Sonic Prime as a consultant is so exciting to me, and I'm pretty sure the two of you as Sonic fans. But Asa, you're our special guest for the day. How are you feeling about this, man?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those stories that makes me happy that I'm keeping Netflix. I go back and forth every day. Do I want to cancel this service that I never use? I can watch all of the other Sonic shows on like Paramount Plus and things like that. But seeing Ian Flynn coming on board for Sonic Prime, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till this comes out and watch the whole thing before I give Netflix the axe. No, I was a huge fan of the original TV show, the Saturday morning cartoon. I can't tell you exactly which issues I've read besides the free comic book day versions of Ian Flynn's writing. But anytime that I can see somebody from like the original property connecting over to a new adaptation, I think that is absolutely the best thing. I think when we see games turn into movies or movies turn into games and you don't have somebody from that original project on that adaptation, you tend to lose a little bit of the soul. So I feel like having Ian Flynn a part of Prime is really just going to set it for where it needs to go. And I think that if you're not a big Sonic fan, this would probably be the show that, I mean, again, I don't know a ton about what the show is going to be about, but I feel like him being on there is going to give the pedigree of, if you haven't watched a Sonic show, you should probably start with this one. Like, this is going to be a good one to jump in on.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful because Ian Flynn does amazing work. Everything I've read from him is great. He gets characters, and I can't appreciate it enough for that. It's kind of why I like get Ian Flynn on the games. To have him start writing game stories for Sonic. That's where it's at.
Yeah,
I've been wanting that for a while, but you know, we're one step closer. We know what we're getting, and it's so close. I'm tentatively excited for Prime. I'm not, you never quite know what you're getting into, but apparently multiple variations across dimensions for Sonic. It could be interesting. Could be some fun situations there. Man of Action, I've not watched a lot of their cartoons other than the original Ben 10, but they seem generally pretty good from what I can tell. And I'm hopeful for this one. I really hope this is another great Sonic cartoon, because he's honestly had mostly good cartoons. Not like, you got some bad ones in there, like Sonic Underground, but Adventures
hey,
is.
Come on,
I
that
liked
theme
it.
song, man. Sonic
Underground.
I love that. I mean, I don't love the show. It was terrible, but I just love the weirdness of it and the ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually really liked Underground. And it's probably because I got like this Sonic Underground stuffed animal from Denny's. And I was like weirdly attached to that, guitar necklace, but
oh, so good. So good.
It was the first time American cartoon introduced Knuckles in that terrible animated one that's basically a pure GIF. And it's also like, honestly, I think even the Sonic OVA is cheesy as all get out, but that is pure like 90s Sonic, like just dissolved into that. So I
love Princess Bagel Boo and Shiny Totodile coming through with the lyrics, the Sonic Underground lyrics in our YouTube chat. They made a vow, their mother will be found. You can't make that up, man. Sonic Underground was something else. But no, you're so right, Derek. Sonic has had so many great animated shows, and to this day, I tell people who, people will talk shit about Sonic Boom, the game, or the games, and to an extent that's warranted. The Wii U version especially was just a mess. But I always tell people, like, okay, but don't judge Sonic Boom on the games. Watch the cartoon. It's so good, especially the second season. And with Ian Flynn attached to Sonic Prime, I think we're in for something really special here. I'm pretty excited. And,
get him Mega Man back. I want to see him finish those adaptations.
He did such a good job with the Mega Man comics, and oh man, I'd love to see him attached to. Get him to write a Mega Man game story. That would be so good. Oh, that would be so good.
It was genius to rope in the Raw Moon with the Mega Man 3 stuff.
Oh, right. It was so he's just so good at really digging into a property and really, nailing those deep cuts that only hardcore fans would really notice or care about or appreciate. And he's taken that and
makes them palatable for everybody.
So
and I think that's the key thing. He'll be able to pull from a lot of that stuff and maybe just make it work. With this strange concept, I feel like Ian Flynn could probably do a pretty good job getting it all set. So we'll see. We shall see.
And there's a good chance that we could maybe see some Easter eggs. Like, he's been writing for Sonic for so long. Like, I would be shocked if we didn't see little nods to some of his past work in Prime.
Man, imagine if they just put Sally Acorn in the background somewhere. Or Bunny Rabbit.
Oh, right? Amazing. Or Antoine, or
even Scratch and Grounder.
Oh.
Just do something with it.
Sorry, headphone wearers. Also, Twilord in our live audience patron chat telling us I got best fresh concept in the Sonic hacking contest, and I'm still just so happy about that. Well, congratulations, Twilord. I know you've been working really hard on your mods, so congratulations. You absolutely deserve it, and that's so cool to hear that. So,
absolutely,
just congratulations for that. Good vibes. All right. Well, before we move on to our second news story, we do have a super chat to read out. And just as a reminder, we will read super chats out between news stories and not all at once, just to keep the show moving. But with that said, $5 from RecBCQ. Thank you so much, saying, I wish some of the comic characters would reappear. I know they probably won't, but still, there's an awesome green sloth named Moss that is just me. I think we agree with you. I think we agree that we'd love to see the comic characters come back.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I know they're tied up in rights hell, and
especially now with Archie and all that. It's we might have a better chance of getting the new characters, which I still need to read the new the IDW Sonic comics because
I've heard good things about it. Yeah, no, I have too. Top Dog in our patron chat asks, "Is there a Mega Man cartoon?" There have been many Mega Man cartoons. Sorry for the sirens here, everybody. Yeah. They're mostly pretty good. The most recent one, Mega Man Fully Charged, not so good. But a lot of the others have been really good. So just to answer your question. But all right, well, we do have some more news to talk about, and this next story is one of our main stories of the day. So let's get that up on screen. All right, so just going to say this right now. This is bad vibes.
Oh, yeah.
We're good vibes game. Not everything we report on can be good vibes. This straight up sucks. And so recently, some of Metroid Dread's developers over at MercurySteam have been speaking out about allegedly poor working conditions at the company. And this comes after it had been kind of revealed that there were certain developers at MercurySteam who went uncredited in the game's end credits because they didn't adhere to the studio's policy of working on at least 25% of a project. So anyone who was perceived to have worked on less than a quarter of the game was left out of the game's credits. And I can speak from experience saying this isn't something that's unique to MercurySteam. This is something that's endemic to game development in general, but it still sucks and it's still squicky, and I really, really hate that. But on the back of that kind of first revelation, there is a whole story that came out on Aneat Games. It's a Spanish story, but thanks to our own patron Juan, who speaks and reads Spanish, they translated the story for us and kind of gave us some bullet points here. So a lot of this will sound familiar to you, I think, if you follow game development, but a lack of communication from the higher-ups. Apparently about 120 cinematics were made from the art team, but most of that was scrapped. The art designers left afterwards. Metroid Dread was apparently supposed to have twice as many bosses and cinematics, but couldn't have that.
See, I don't blame MercurySteam on that one, just because it's probably Nintendo on that. Some of these are, just kind of what happens, but it's stuff like former artist said of the studio's atmosphere. They do not trust the worker at all, and it shows you don't feel valued. Like, that's a big thing where it's just and. It sucks they treat like this, because I heard about the development issues of Lords of Shadow 2, which is a fantastic Castlevania game. Nobody thinks about it, but it's actually really good and in my top 10. But they have some kind of bad bosses over there, and it's never treated right. And this is just like, really? You didn't figure this out in that amount of time? Why?
Yeah, and apparently salaries are super low, around $25,000 annually for juniors and $28,000 for seniors.
That was shocking
also,
to me.
Right? And it's alleged that MercurySteam didn't handle the pandemic well, with a programmer saying it was, quote, total and utter chaos, and that same programmer even was promised a full salary and was only paid 30% of it. Now, of course, this is all just based on what we're hearing. We can't confirm any of this, but this is really, this sucks. I've been enjoying the hell out of Metroid Dread, but I hate that anybody who worked on that fantastic game, or in any game, has gone uncredited. And it's just, again, this isn't something that's MercurySteam specific. I've worked on games I didn't get credited in because I didn't work on enough of it to make that threshold. And it happens, but it still just feels kind of And to be fair, though, there is at least one positive here, and that is that there's apparently, thankfully, no crunch because Nintendo was supervising development. So don't only want to report on the bad here. No crunch is a good thing, but it seems like there were some, dreadful working conditions for those working on Metroid Dread. And
it feels like it's the higher ups. It's the higher ups that's the issue.
Yeah, I completely agree with Frequent Positron in our patron chat. Video game developers need to unionize. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Game developers have way too little power. the rank and file developers in the trenches have way too little power compared to the suits and the executives. And yeah, I just think this stuff is going to continue to happen until something like that is able to happen, until unionization can take place. But we've been talking a lot here, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's a great point, because like even in these points here, it says that, okay, Nintendo said no crunch. Apparently there is no crunch. But then when you look at that juxtaposed to the entire list of everything that did go wrong, it's like, is crunch really the problem? Because it seems like there were a whole litany of issues here. And if we had this unionization fixed, then maybe crunch wouldn't be a problem, and all of these other issues, like that huge disconnect with the higher ups and then people actually working on the game, wouldn't happen.
So I saw a suggestion in YouTube chat from No Sardines for You, saying maybe that's about the normal annual salary in Spain. And I just looked up the average salary in Spain as of 2021, and they typically earn 2,710 euros gross per month, which it comes out to about 32.5 thousand a year. So still under the average in that case.
It's definitely still, it's still lower than the average, as you said. So, that taken along with the alleged working conditions, developers not being trusted, being separated from one another, not being paid their full salary. I mean, there's a lot that's really, really unfortunate here. And, that doesn't change the fact that I've loved playing Metroid Dread. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I'm close, and I've loved my time with the game. But I got to say, it does sting a little bit to know that the fruits of the labor, that what I'm playing, the finished product, some people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into it got screwed over, and that doesn't make me regret playing the game at all. But it makes it hard for me to look at it in as purely enjoyable a way as I did before. It's just that personally is hard for me. If you're someone who can separate those two things, all the power to you, but I just am not. So it definitely just makes me feel a little gross.
I do wonder if Nintendo might do a little cleanup upon this stuff coming out about the MercurySteam, because if you ever watched what happened on Metroid Prime and the terrible management of Retro Studios when they first started out, I believe, if I remember correctly, the person who got Retro Studios started was the same guy who came up with the Guy game. And who was just apparently it's just a really skeevy guy who's like wasted money, did not meet deadlines, was just sort of awful. And Nintendo basically came in and was like, okay, we need to fix this. This is not going well, and got them out. And watch the Metroid Prime one, and from Matt McMuscles, fantastic episode, really interesting and amazing how good Prime turned out. So hopefully Nintendo sort of like steps in and be like, okay, we need to take care of some things here. But maybe they were meeting their deadlines still, despite treating like this, and Nintendo didn't care. Hard to say.
It is, but I do hope the people who've been wronged here get some sort of recompense. I don't expect it necessarily. I'm not expecting a patch to come out that adds all the uncredited people to the credits. If that is MercurySteam's policy, that's their policy. But it really, really sucks. And I hope things get better for everybody at MercurySteam by the time they work on their next game, whatever that is, Metroid or not. It's a shame, and I hate having to talk about stuff like this happening in the industry, especially because it continues to happen. And I think it was Wataniac in our patron chat talking about how, voice actors were treated better once they were able to unionize. Mm-hmm. And I think there needs to be that accountability there. And we'll see. I mean, obviously it's against executives' interest to allow game developers to unionize, because they just want to line their pockets generally. But it's better for everybody, I think, if they do. And we'll just have to see where things go from here. But before we move on to our next news story, we have another super chat from Screamo Shaman, $4.99, saying, any thoughts on that spooky Pokemon teaser from a few days ago? Well,
give us a bit of time.
Matter of fact, we're going to be talking about that later in today's show, so we will have some thoughts on it. And thank you for the reminder, though, and thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Also, $5 from Late Night Sprites saying the industry needs to stop awarding crunch like The Last of Us 2 running the Game Awards. Hades made people take time and weekends off. Love GVG, y'all rock. Absolutely agree. You rock too. No, you rock. But no, completely agree. Rewarding crunch should never, ever be happening. And across the board, I'm always happy to wait as long as it takes, as many delays as it takes for any game I'm looking forward to, if it means the people working on the game are having good work-life balance, their mental health is being looked after. And what we need to do is just not, personally, I think delays are going to happen no matter what, but just start working that extra time into the development process. Instead of
time management, they're just bad at time management.
Exactly, yeah. It's time management. And it's like, instead of making it seem like you're delaying a game over and over, just allow extra time and make sure you're giving your developers as much time as they need to make a game without crunch. And then you don't have to come back and keep saying, sorry, we're delaying it. Then it's just the expectations are there. But, production management's a tough job. I've done it. I know it's not as simple as we're making it seem here. But it's just something needs to change. And hopefully it does. By the way, I don't know if anybody who told the porn bots were apparently they were almost at 70,000 subs, because they've really been going on one in our YouTube chat today. So thank you to our amazing mods for helping to keep them out of the chat. Really appreciate that. They're more active today than usual. So I guess they heard No Shave November. That's actually true. If we hit 70K subs before November, Derek and I are doing No Shave November. So maybe that's what it is. They just wanted to see us not shave. Who knows?
Probably.
We got to challenge Asa for his wonderful beard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'll trim mine up so then we can do this together.
Ah, there you go.
Nice. All right. Well, let's go ahead and keep things moving and get that third story up on screen.
Hold on.
Oh,
there you go.
No worries. All right, so for the this comes from our friends over at Nintendo Life, and so I don't want to say it's bad news for Switch. It's just interesting. But for the first time in 33 whole months, the Switch wasn't the U.S.'s best-selling console in September. So this, of course, is referring to September 2021. And so actually, it was the PS5 that finally took the Switch's crown.
How the heck was there enough units for that?
Yeah,
no idea. Yeah,
this feels fishy.
It's weird, right? Because of the supply issues. But according to Nintendo Life, the PS5 was September's best-selling hardware platform in terms of both units and dollar sales. And this is the first time that's happened after 33 consecutive months of the Switch dominating. Dominating the charts, the hardware charts. So, although it is important to note that in terms of the year-to-date statistics for 2021. While the PS5 is the year's best-selling console in terms of dollars, the Switch still does remain on top in terms of units sold. So it's not, all bad news for Nintendo. And I don't even want to really characterize this as bad news. A 33-month streak is incredible by any measure. And we may see Nintendo or the Switch go right back on top in October. Who knows? But Asa, how are you feeling about this, man?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels a little fishy to me, but I guess if we're looking at terms of dollars, it makes a whole lot of sense, because I mean the PS5 is double the cost of a Switch. I think even with the OLED unit, it wasn't enough to push it. Now I think in October, November, we could see that definitely jump back up with Sora and Smash, the Animal Crossing update. I think it's going to be enough to probably pull some people back in that might not have had a Switch or sold their Switch. But yeah, I mean, I would never want to encourage the console wars, like fanboyism. So it's not bad news. It's good to see Sony get a win, because honestly, I was pretty worried. Like, I was able to get my PS5 last November, but there are so many people that still don't have it. That would, like, they're dying to have one. And so I completely get it. I know that there are struggles on both sides, and I'm happy to see this win for Sony because it's great. But yeah, give it some time. I think once we get and Mario Party 2. So Mario Party coming out and all of these updates coming to Switch, I think Switch is going to jump back up.
Kaiser in the YouTube chat actually brings up a pretty good point. September is also the pre-OLED month, so people might have been holding off from the Switch for that reason.
Definitely, yeah, that's a great point.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead, Derek.
I don't think this is this is more interesting than anything else. I think it's more for the streak because nobody's really talked about it for a while because it's just been the thing that happens. Like, of course the Switch is on top. What else would it be at this? And it's cool. I mean, it's nice to see that the Switch had it for so long. I don't think I think it's probably gonna get back on top for the holiday season. Especially let's be honest. OLED. Yeah, especially with the OLED. I don't think this is they lost that 1 month, but whatever. No, I don't think that's a huge deal. There's actually some other interesting bits of news here for how well certain series have been doing. That we don't have included in the Nintendo Life article. According to Mac Piscatella, Tales of Arise set a new launch month dollar sales record for the Tales of franchise. It ranked as the fourth best-selling game of September 2021. Life of Strange True Colors launched as the number 10 best-selling game and generated the highest launch month dollar sales for any Life of Strange title to date. And then finally, WarioWare Get It Together debuted as the 15th overall best-selling game of September. Wow. And achieved the highest launch month sales for our WarioWare franchise since Smooth Moves in January 2007. So good stuff all around.
That's interesting for WarioWare specifically, and kind of surprising. Not because Get It Together isn't good; it's a good game, great game, I would say. But WarioWare has just been out of the spotlight for so long. It's great to see it come roaring back with such a good debut.
I think it's largely in part due to the humongous install base for the Switch. I mean, 33 months in a row. That's you're talking Undertaker streak of wins when it comes to WrestleMania. Kind of like Derek. I think you brought up a great point. Like, there's almost a mythos to it of 33 months straight. That's huge. So I think that absolutely that install base probably is going to boost a lot of games because, like you mentioned, Tales of Arise. I can't believe that game is as high on that list as you say it is.
I still need to pick it up because I've heard amazing things. I think that game definitely benefited from word of mouth.
Yes,
because I hear everybody talking about it.
It's just never been on my radar until I've heard so many people talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that Life is Strange True Colors charted at all. I mean, it's just great. I mean, it's a good series. I just didn't necessarily think it would debut at quite the position it did, but I'm really glad to see that it did. Another thing that continues to just blow my mind every time we see it is that, at least for Nintendo platforms alone, for September 2021, of course, none other than Mario Kart 8 takes the number one spot because Mario Kart 8 always takes the number one spot. And this
doesn't own that
when
game?
You consider the original, right? And when you consider the Wii U version,
I mean, for the
when you consider how old the game is. Yeah, I mean, I guess, attach rates, with bundles and such, but Mario Kart 8 truly is the gift that keeps on giving for Nintendo, and I see why we don't have a 9 announced yet, because why should they? Yeah. Why do they need to? I mean, us fans want a new one, but, for Nintendo's concerned, this one just keeps selling hand over fist, no matter
and people
how
like,
old it
why
is.
don't they do DLC for it? They don't need to do anything. It's just selling on its own. So it's just like, there it is, making bank. You just don't touch it.
Yeah, I just wish they had, kind of used that success to like justify the release of more DLC for it, like deluxe specific DLC, because deluxe came out with Wii U's DLC as part of the base or the main game. So why not have another DLC pack adding other stuff, Kirby or whatever into, I don't know. It just feels like it would have been cool to get even more new content, especially absent a proper announcement of Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
But, I'm guessing they don't, for the same reason we don't have a Mario Kart 9 is probably the same reason we don't have new DLC. They don't need to do it. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just continues to sell like crazy. So
I feel like they don't do too much DLC support for their deluxe editions, do they? I can't think of any of those Wii U ports that have gotten new content aside from like 3D World that had Bowser's Fury, but that was in the box. That wasn't something that was additional added on. So I wonder if it's truly just, hey, we're giving you all the Wii U DLC, and that's what you're going to get. If you want something new, play Cruise and Blast. But outside of that, if you want...
such a good game.
Right, thank you. I'm sorry. I had to throw it out there because I never...
I'm so glad you did.
It's so good.
I need to pick it up.
It's fantastic.
It looks
you do.
really good.
And that menu theme is 90s perfection.
Chef's kiss. It's so good. And it's
man,
I could talk forever about Cruise and Blast.
it's such a good game.
Mhm.
Yeah, but as Wataniac says here in our live audience patron chat, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe saying, "I am inevitable."
Yeah.
It's true. It's just Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is never. It seems like it's never going to die. So, and it's a great game. But man, I'm so ready for something new on the Mario Kart front. But until Nintendo feels the need to do it, I don't think we're going to see it. But well. We do have at least one more super chat to read out. First is Still Alive with $5. Thank you so much. Saying, I've been hearing people not liking the music in Dread as much as previous Metroids. What do you guys think? Did you like the music in Dread? I agree with that. I feel as though, as much as I love Dread, the music so far has been the relative low point. It's not bad. It's just not very memorable. I like
it
the
doesn't
music for
stand
Verinia.
out, but it's appropriately moody.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stand out. That's all
Yeah,
there
it just
is.
doesn't stand out as much as I think some of the more iconic themes from previous games in the series did. Like Super Metroid, I can name and hum every song on command, but not at all with Metroid Dread. Same with like Metroid Fusion. I love Fusion as a game, but I didn't find it to have the most memorable soundtrack. And I'm feeling the same here with Dread. That said, I do like the Berenia theme. That's the underwater area, right? Berenia.
I think yes.
Think it is. Yeah, I like the music there. That's probably my favorite track in the game that isn't just a rearrangement or a remix of a previous Metroid theme. Like, I love hearing Samus's theme in the opening, right? So,
Right.
but I agree with that. Still Alive for sure. What about you, Asa?
So, huge confession. Major Metroid fan. So excited for Dread. I've had no time to play it. So,
Dude,
brutal.
I hear you.
Still in the box. I haven't had a chance to put it in.
I mean,
That's probably why I've been playing so much Cruise and Blast. Is I have time for like small snippets of gameplay, and I just want to sit down with Dread and like put a decent chunk into it. So I will give my full takes on the music, which this conversation has me a little bummed because I've always loved Metroid music. Super Metroid and Metroid Prime are some of my top soundtracks in gaming. So
that menu theme in Metroid Prime. It's so good.
It's so good.
Oh man, yeah, no. Once you get to it, you're gonna have a great time, no doubt. But I completely hear you on not having time. I feel bad that I still haven't finished it. I feel like I'm really close, but I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to finish this 10 to 15 hour game, 10 to 12 hour game.
I was hoping for years for a sequel to The World Ends With You, and I've barely touched Neo. So I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, we do have a couple of more news stories to get through. And this next one I'm going to call the Derek Bittner Special. So let's get that up on screen. So, if you haven't heard already, rare footage from a researcher has been uncovered from the Hisui region, which basically means we have a new Pokemon Legends Arceus teaser trailer to talk about. And Derek, of course, with you being our resident Pokemon master, I'm going to throw this one to you first. It doesn't seem as though, from what I've seen, that there's too much to talk about here. But I want to take it to the expert first. What are your thoughts on this rare footage from the Hisui region?
It's a fun gimmick to reveal a new Pokemon. This is basically on the same level as the 24-hour stream in order to introduce Galarian Ponyta. At least this one's shorter. And I like the presentation. You can't see crap. It's static the entire time.
It's pretty cool.
But I like how they were like, oh, it's not a Growlithe. It's not a Vulpix. Like, they're giving descriptions of what it might look like. So I've tried to look out for any artist that might have tried to, like, based on the description, try to recreate it, what it might look like, because it's adorable. It has, I think, a fluffy tail or something like that. But there's some fun bits here that kind of describe it in some ways. And yes, as Irish Jackamon points out, another YouTuber, Birdkeeper Toby, did point out there is a snow run scene in the trailer, so it could be a new snow run evolution. That is very possible. I also think because spooky season, static, and all that, I'm gonna put it out there that I think it's going to be a ghost type Pokemon. So just sort of fitting with so we get a new adorable ghost type. And I don't know. I don't really have a lot of predictions concerning it. This is just a fun method of showing off. And I guess, yeah, as Soy Sauce Asia points out, Frostlass is a ghost type that involves from Snow Run. So maybe.
Well, both Screamo Shaman and Kitty Kong Facts in our live audience chats are saying that the common theory is that it's Zorua, or a Zorua variant, which maybe I don't even is Zorua a ghost type? I don't know.
I don't believe
is.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. I don't know the whole.
I got
900 Pokemon.
I think I know. That one. It's a dark type, which in Japan is evil. It's called evil. So it's the one that can camouflage itself. And we'll look when you counter it. It looks like another Pokemon. You hit it, and then it's like, oh, it's actually this type thing.
I gotta say, I do love the style of this trailer. It carries a serious, scary vibe to it, like a horror found footage vibe to it. That I kind of wish they would have released this near closer to Halloween. It really is that creepy, and it's cool. It's kind of different in tone for a Pokemon trailer or teaser footage, and it's a lot of fun. I like what they did with it.
So this is interesting. I was just looking up Zorua, and one of the first things that popped up is, it hints at a Hisuian Zora. That is a terrible, with my speech impediment, that is an awful name to try to pronounce. It is so hard to say. Yeah. But according to this, and there's even a bit of fan art here to try to interpret it, where they thought it might be a Growlithe or it might be a Vulpix. So they're taking that as a hint that it's a fire type. So they're thinking that this might be an ice/fire type Pokemon. And here is an artist interpretation of what that would look like. If I can find it. There it is. I will link it here so everybody can check this out. And it also gives proper credit to the person who is guessing at this. So there we go. If it is true, this thing's adorable.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love the look of that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously that's not official.
Right. Oh, don't worry, Bolt Mouse X. It's safe artwork.
And here's, I love Pokemon investigators. I did not get a chance to look at this, but they're saying during the trailer it says it's currently 7:07 p.m., which ties into black and white. They were the 76th and 77th Pokemon.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Wow.
That's cool. That's a really...
There's a lot of hints in here,
deep.
So...
Yeah.
I could see it.
It's wild to think that we're only a month away from Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then just a couple of scant months away from Pokemon Legends, where it feels like it's still far off, but it's really not.
It does. God, it's coming up so quick.
It really is, yeah. But, all right, well, Asa, did you have anything else you wanted to say about that? I don't really have too much else to add myself, other than I can clearly see the snow runs in the trailer.
Yeah, I could clearly see the snow runs too. I was trying to think of who it could have been, and nothing was come to mind, but the Frostlass theory, I like that one, because I think that would be really cool to see that. But I forgot about the confusion of if it's a Vulpix or a Growlithe, so... Yeah, I could see it being that Zora version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like I said, I was going ghost type, and I forgot about the snow run before I watched. I watched it when it came out, but I didn't rewatch it for this because I remember that, but no, of course I forgot the detail.
Right, and
it's like it always feels like Glalie the one that gets all the love. It's the one that got the mega form. So let's toss some love to Frostlass, and probably not based off this.
I always say this, but the Vanillite line deserves so much more love. I want to see Mega Vanillux. I want to see a Hisuian variant of Vanillux that's maybe chocolate or strawberry, maybe Neapolitan. Who knows? But there's so much you can do with an ice cream Pokemon.
Make it ice poison type, and it'll just be purple ice cream on top.
I mean,
that could be cool.
They had that cake Pokemon in Shield and Sword.
That is true.
So, why hasn't it been done yet? That makes so much sense.
Right?
I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't expect it to be Vanillite or anything, but I am looking forward to seeing more Hisuian variants, though, because the ones we've seen so far have been really cute, especially Growlithe. Cute. So I'm looking forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Although based on that artwork, this might be even cuter than Growlithe. So
I know, right? Okay, well, we do have a couple more super chats to read out. First is $2 from Late Night Sprites. Thank you so much. Saying when Pokemon attack or when is Pokemon Attack coming to Pokemon TV this fall? I haven't heard of Pokemon Attack.
I think that's an episode name from the old
Oh,
from
it's
the
an episode
anime,
name.
but I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, sorry to say, I'm not sure. But thank you for the super chat nonetheless, and I'm sorry we're not
Oh,
sure. Unfortunately, I just lost my chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me double check. So the only one we got was Rec BCQ with $5 super chat saying the hype cycle
cool.
for Pokemon Legends Arceus is great. It's so much more unique than older games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Cool. Thank you for that, Derek. Yeah, I know. I just the chat is frozen on my end, so thank you for that, and thank you so much, Rec BCQ, for the super chat. And yeah, it's really
it is weird to go straight from Diamond and Pearl remakes to Legends in like 3 months, and expect them to be farther spread out. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's fine for me because I'm not excited about Diamond and Pearl.
They're cool for a legacy standpoint, but I'm not seeing a lot to get me to replay other than the fact that, oh, wait, I should probably have to review this. So hopefully it'll surprise me. I mean, I'm going in like, yep, that is Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah. That generation just didn't sit for me super well. And the art style, I don't know what it is about the art style. I just don't. It doesn't click.
I don't mind the art style, and the Gen 4 was what got me back into it. So it'll be faster, and that'll be good. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I do like the chibi art style on the overworld personally, but I hear you. Gen 4 never really did it for me originally, which is why I'm kind of looking forward to revisiting it. But I definitely like it's not. I don't have a whole lot of pre-existing hype for Gen 4 like I would Gen 3 or 5 or 6. I know I'm one of the few Gen 6 fans, but I admit it. I love this. Bolt Mouse X points out one of the creepiest Pokedex entries ever. And I remember reading this in game. After a woman met her end on a snowy mountain, her regrets lingered on. From them, this Pokemon was born. Its favorite food is frozen souls. That's so messed up.
I love Pokemon Pokedex entries. They are so ridiculous. And
that's amazing. And that's Frostlass, by the way. And I just cannot believe. Oh man, that's just I love the dark Pokemon entries.
Maybe change Frostlass's new evolution into like Ghost something else and make it more like the Ring. If you're going to go with those Pokedex entries,
that would be so cool. Just have like black hair in front of the face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know what they would do, but it'd be awesome.
It would. We have one more super chat from Still Alive for $5. Thank you so much. Saying, what do you think of Incineroar in Smash Ultimate? Think he was a good addition, or did you prefer a different Pokemon from that generation? Personally, Incineroar never did much for me. I was never a big fan of its design. So, and I know there are a lot of Incineroar fans out there, not talking shit to you, but just personally for me, the fire wrestling cat just didn't do a whole lot for me. I would have preferred Decidueye myself, I think. But I'm glad Incineroar is there for the people who love it.
I am shocked that Incineroar got in over Decidueye.
Decidueye would have been my pick, hands down.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to have a grass starter that is.
I went Primarina for the game itself, but Primarina is not mobile, so I think it's easier to pick either Decidueye or Incineroar. And Incineroar is fun, has an interesting gimmick, but it's just like. Plus, I don't find him that fun to play. I hate his recovery.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate his recovery. Yeah, completely agree. Well, Still Alive, thank you so much for that super chat, as well as for the perfect segue into our final story of the day, which is our other big story that we're talking about. So let's get that up on screen. So, as we all know, Masahiro Sakurai is known for his Famitsu columns talking about Smash's development, kind of giving us a behind-the-scenes look at Smash's development and how characters get in. And, of course, that means that we have some new reports from him and Famitsu about Sora, about Kingdom Hearts' Sora getting into Smash. And these translations of the latest Famitsu column, of course, come from our good friend Push Dustin, as well as Cody Nokolo on Twitter. So definitely go follow them for more translations like this. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff here. As you might expect, he talks about how getting Sora into Smash wasn't quite the same challenge as getting other third-party characters into Smash. It was a much greater challenge, and that's not a surprise. But what's really interesting here is that for a long time, Fighters Pass Volume 2 was only going to have, but was going to have 5 characters like Fighters Pass Volume 1. And it wasn't until Sakurai had a chance meeting with a Disney employee at an awards show that the discussion around Sora even began. So for a long time, he wasn't part of Fighters Pass Volume 2, and he was kind of a late addition, I guess a little bit like Sonic and Brawl. And so the fact that Sora is here in Smash, that the dream is real, is only due to some of those more last-minute negotiations that allowed him to sneak into the end of Fighters Pass Volume 2.
You have no idea. Yeah. As you said, special, but it's special in the fact that it's basically the same way Kingdom Hearts came to be in the first place, just a random meeting with a Disney employee. We need to start having game developers just randomly run into Disney employees at all times, because my God, these mix-ups, the ways somehow just met the right Disney employee, I guess, the Disney representative. And the fact that they were like, yeah, we'd love to have him in. It's like, oh, we can actually do that? Oh, cool.
Right.
Wow.
And I do wonder if this hadn't happened. I do wonder if they would have ended Fighters Pass Volume 2 with Sephiroth instead. I wonder if they moved Sephiroth up. I feel like they might have. I don't think they would have ended on Kazuya as the last character, personally.
No.
Yeah. I think they probably moved Sephiroth up to separate him from Sora a little bit. But yeah, I think they probably would have ended with Sephiroth otherwise.
You don't think it would have been Steve from Minecraft? I feel like that is a big enough external IP
you're right.
that probably would have been the finish. Because you would have needed Sephiroth for the middle. Start with...
right.
No, I can't remember. Start with the ARMS character, then do the Xenoblade. Kazuya can go... Xenoblade and Kazuya could be interchangeable, but put Steve at the end, if Sora wasn't going to happen. Because otherwise, I could see a lot of, Steve felt to me, not as big as Sora, but felt like one of the biggest I never would have expected a Minecraft character in Smash.
Well, as Skeleton Warrior Matt Zawodniak in our live audience chat mentions, also a previous TNT guest, thank you so much for being in the chat with us. He reminds us that Steve's announcement was timed around a big Minecraft event. I think it was at the same time as Minecon was happening. Is it Minecon? I think it's called
Minecon. Yep.
That year. Yeah. So I think that was at the same time happening, or it started on the same day that Steve was revealed. So I do think Steve could have certainly. Yeah, he's certainly a big enough deal, more than a big enough deal, to carry the weight of being the final character. It's Minecraft Live, Screamo Shaman. Thank you. But Sakurai also has a very clear perspective on what the fan base wants, I think, in terms of who the hypest characters are. And I suspect that he would have known that maybe ending on a Western character like Steve or like Banjo-Kazooie, for example, as the very last character might not sit well with a lot of his own audience. So I do wonder if it still would have been Sephiroth.
Minecraft is popular in Japan. It's just one of those things where the perception of non-Minecraft players might not be as into Steve getting in. I remember that being
Steve himself.
Please don't get Steve in, and that sort of thing. So for a core gamer, Sephiroth is more exciting, but for the general sense, Steve is. Yeah. And that's why Sora kind of gets a balance, kind of strikes a balance there where core gamers definitely know Sora. People have heard of Kingdom Hearts and, generally just how confusing the story is. And everybody knows Disney. And that's why you start with the Mickey Mouse symbol. Like, wait, what? What's Disney? What's Mickey Mouse doing here if you don't know Kingdom Hearts at all? It's like, what is that about? And then it starts the whole thing. It's like, wait, Disney characters with these Japanese kids? What the heck? What's all this about?
And I can only imagine what Sakurai and his team went through, because Cody Nokolo goes on to talk about how, or translate, that Sora was, of course, supervised by both Disney and Square Enix. It wasn't just one or the other. It was both. And so Sakurai says in kind of a wry way, the first Sora model that the Smash team sent to Disney and Square Enix was very quality, and there weren't a lot of issues. Just kidding. It was quite difficult. I can only imagine given what we heard about how difficult it was to get Cloud and Sephiroth's models approved, I think primarily Cloud's, I can only imagine how much harder it was with Sora when you introduce Disney into the mix as well. And he also talks about how it's been 3 years since the release of the base game, Smash Ultimate, and how there were the development of all the DLC combined, all 11 fighter character passes, is similar to the development period for Smash Ultimate itself, which is wild when you think about that the DLC has effectively doubled the game's development time. And it does, for all these reasons and more, it does seem like the right time to end, even though I've obviously talked about how sad I am that it's ending. Sora was the perfect way to end, but I do have to ask Asa, because I have to ask everyone this, because it was such a big moment. It was a dream come true for me. What was your reaction when you first saw the final trailer and you realized it was Sora?
I cried.
Yeah, nice.
I cried so hard. So actually, I went through this roller coaster of emotions. I saw when I first saw the flame. Sorry, I didn't get to like stream it live, so I'm like, people need to know my journey. Mm-hmm. When I saw the flame, I thought immediately Dark Souls. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? This makes no sense to me. And then when I saw the Mickey Mouse emblem, I jumped up and screamed. Yep. Saw Sora come in. That's when the tears just started flowing. And then I immediately remembered all of the gotcha moments in the Smash announcements that I sobered up really quick, because I was like, they're going to like do like the switcheroo, and it's going to be Kyrie, or it's going to be King Mickey, or it's going to be Roxas. Like they're going to pull the switcheroo, and I'm going to be heartbroken. But then I just held my breath for that moment when they said, Sora joins the battle, and Sora, you hear Sora's voice say, "Let's go." I was like, I was on the floor. I was so excited. And like everyone else, I'm like, well, honey, I'm restarting Kingdom Hearts again. So here we go.
I'm back on it. Oh, God.
I'm back on it again.
Dude, I hear you. As many people here know, I popped the hell off. It wasn't until later when I rewatched it that the tears started flowing. I was more popping off out of just sheer hype on our reaction stream, but the tears came later for sure. And like I said on Twitter, they knew exactly what they were doing with having the orchestra version of Simple and Clean in that trailer as Sora floats through the keyhole. I mean, you could have someone read the phone book to that song and it would make me cry. Like it's that song is ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
and
I mean, just the startup of Kingdom Hearts, the Dearly Beloved. Every time the new game opens up, it's like, I started up Kingdom Hearts 3 for the first. I'm like, no, here we go again. I'm just so happy playing this. It's like that damn music. It gets you so hard.
And he's so fun to play.
Oh, man, he's so a blast. One other interesting thing here is that you mentioned Sam is working on a full game. He did mention that he feels like he will only work on a few more games, so he's worried about the future. So at least this is not the last one. We're still getting a few more Sakurai games. That's I'm happy for that.
And I can't wait to find out what he does next. The last Smash he works on, maybe.
Yes, I do think it's probably going to be the last one.
And what an amazing note to go out on if it is. Yeah. I mean, if I could, I would have, I'd love to have him work on Smash forever, but I want him to work on what he works on, not what I want him to work on.
Yeah.
And he deserves to be able to stretch his creative wings and do something he wants to do before he retires. And he's getting older. And, it's definitely sobering to see him say that, because he knows he's getting older and he only has a few more games left in him. It's going to be a sad, sad day indeed when he retires, because, happy in the sense that he gets to retire, but sad in the sense that there's never, ever been another director, developer, producer like Sakurai. And I don't know if there ever will be again. He is not that there aren't other people who are incredibly talented in their own rights. Obviously there are, but he's just very unique, and I'm going to miss the hell out of him.
He has an eye for detail, I think, is the big thing.
Yeah, exactly. And he also says that with Smash Ultimate, Sakurai felt that he was able to offer a celebration of gaming, and he's glad he worked on it. Smash Ultimate isn't an ordinary game, and he's happy he was able to collaborate with many developers. And that sounds like exactly the kind of humble way that Sakurai would say something like that. But hell yeah, it's a celebration of gaming. And hell no, it's not ordinary. The fact that he was able to put his stamp on this game, the likes of which we'll never see again, it's incredible. And he ends by saying that the next column will be his last one in Famitsu. So we're not only are we losing the Smash hype cycle, but we're also losing his columns in Famitsu, which I have always looked forward to. I always love hearing him pick his own brain and just talk to us about how he does what he does. And so a lot of really an end of an era in more ways than one here, not just with Smash Ultimate coming to an end, but just his Famitsu columns. And it seems like he's closing the chapter on this part of his life as a game developer, and he's opening the book on a new one. And so it's the end of an era, but I can't wait to see what he does next. I'll certainly be there ready to play it.
He apparently has been doing that column since 2003.
That's wild. Gosh. That's wild, man. Well, as I'm sure many of you watching the show have already seen, we did do a really cool thank you Sakurai tribute video that went up on Monday, and it just was very reflective of how we feel about the game and what he and his teams have brought to it. So, yeah, I'm gonna miss his columns. I'm gonna miss new Smash Ultimate stuff, but I will be playing as
his
Mega
next
Man and
game
Sora for years to come.
His next game needs to be presented, like introduced in the form of one of his presents. Like those are just fun watching him play his games. Talk about it.
He really is. Yeah, I would like totally watch a show that's just him playing some classic game, whether it's his or not, someone else's game, his own game, just talking about game
I want to see him play Fatal Fury, go through the Fatal Fury games and show off stuff. You know,
that would be really cool. That would be awesome. All right, well, we do have a few more super chats before we close out the show. So $2 more from Still Alive. Thank you so much. Asking, when do you expect to see the Sora Smash amiibo? And part of me is worried that the answer might be never. I only say that because it was really weird that they specifically showed off every other character except Sora and up to Kazuya, but it also might still be that they're in negotiations.
Did they show? I don't think they showed off the Sephiroth amiibo yet, or Kazuya amiibo. Like, they've not shown off those amiibo. We are still a ways away.
I thought they did for Kazuya. No, I think they showed all the upcoming ones.
Did they?
At the end of the presentation. I'm sure chat can clear it up for us.
Yeah, I actually Jack Amon agrees with you. I don't remember showing off Sephiroth and
oh, really?
Kazuya.
Oh, it's here. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's Sephiroth, Pyra, Mithra, Kazuya, and Steve.
Oh, okay. And then Steve was...
They didn't show the actual amiibo models.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you were talking about that. But apparently Steve is dated for 2023, so it's going to be a while till we get all those. But
it'll be a while. But I'm hoping we do get Sora. And my guess is maybe they're just still negotiating with Disney. But if we do get a Sora amiibo, given that Steve is dated for 2023, I wouldn't expect to see it until late 2023, maybe even 2024. So I hope we get one, though.
Oh, some are saying 2022, so I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, is it 2022? Okay.
Well, I saw 2023 earlier, but it's who knows. But we'll get it eventually.
Yeah. But it'll be a while though. If we do get it.
I've gotten all the DLC characters for so far up to this point for the Smash amiibo, so I need all the rest.
Nintendo Life says it's spring 2022 for Steve, and by the way, we have been reminded that there's also going to be an Alex variant as well, which is cool.
We haven't even gotten
I just hope
Min yet, have we?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No,
I'm not up on my amiibo release dates.
I'm looking at the amiibo release right now. I'm going from most recent, and no, it's not on here. The most recent one for Smash is Banjo, which doesn't make sense.
Maceface is Min is spring 2022 as well, according to Maceface.
Oh, okay.
In our live audience chat. So yeah, they're coming. But if they do Sora, I really hope that we get. I'd buy every variant. I would buy the main one, Kingdom Hearts 2, Dream Drop Distance, and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Why did we not get a female variant of Ballot? And I wanted the 4 variants. I can't believe we didn't get 4 variants of the Dragon Quest hero.
Yeah,
I wanted that. I wanted all 4 heroes.
I know that would have been so great. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they do make a Sora amiibo and Disney doesn't block that. But we'll see what happens. Ryan Rivera with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying a Disney representative joins the chat, and Ash asks for Yoko Shimomura to compose the GVG intro. Well, Yoko Shimomura is my favorite musician of all time. However, I wouldn't ask her to do that because that would be stepping on the toes of our good friend T. Lopes, who did do Good Vibes Gaming's theme song called Pure Bliss. So I would never, ever want to replace the amazing work that T. Lopes did for us for anything. So I would ask her to do something else for us, but not the intro theme, not our main theme, because, I'm not going to replace T's amazing work. But thank you so much for the super chat. We also have $4.99 from Hustle Bun saying, I felt ostracized by all the Kingdom Hearts spin-offs and the reaction to Kingdom Hearts 3's ending, but that trailer got me. My eyes welled up. I had chills. Pure magic. Couldn't say it better myself. You're absolutely right. It was just magic, and it's a moment that will remain in my mind and that I will carry with me through the rest of my life. Same with Mega Man, and to a lesser extent, all of them. I remember, as I said in our Thank You Sakurai video, I remember every single reveal for what it was. Even the characters I personally wasn't as hyped about. There was just something so communal about everybody coming together for the next Smash character reveal. So no,
Yep.
I totally hear you. Pure magic. And with that said, we have reached the end of episode 148 of today's News Tonight. Thank you all so much. And as I say that, of course, Alan, oh wow, we have a couple more. Okay, here we go. Well, rapid fire these. Alan Gibbs with $2 saying Kingdom Hearts in a Metroidvania style. I want it. Same here. I think we all probably agree would be down with that, right?
Yeah.
And Not Moth with $4.99 saying, hey guys, after much thinking, I finally decided that I am non-binary. It was hard to come to the choice, but I'm very happy with that decision. Well, Not Moth,
happy you came to the decision.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations, for being able to do that soul searching, and we're all very happy for you here at the GVG crew. Be yourself, Be proud. Non-binary representation. We love you, and just really happy that you've been able to make that decision. So, congratulations.
Absolutely.
And with that said, that is the end of episode 148 of today's News Tonight. But as always, before we head out, Asa, please tell our amazing audience where they can find you, man.
Yes. Okay. So you can find me in a plethora of places. If you want to find me particularly, you can go to Twitter, and my handle is at @Greenriver07. There you can find links to everything else, but I still want to shout it out because it's great content. So my content is Borderline Entertainment on YouTube and Twitch. And then if you can also please share some love to TakeThis.org, a mental health org, and games. The Games Hotline, and that is just at Games Hotline. I'm wearing a limited edition shirt that is a mental health is not a side quest. And if you need to use the hotline, please text support to 23368. It is a free emotional support hotline. So it's text-based. You just text that support, and someone will get back to you. And then, of course, Waking Oni Games. We have Own Semester coming out later this year. So I think I said all of the things, so you can find my hands in all of that. But again, if you want to find me in particular, @Greenriver07 on Twitter.
Nice.
That's so great, Asa. I love that you and Jalen are doing such great work on the mental health and emotional support outreach front. As I told Jalen as well when they were on, it's such important work, and I just love what you're doing. And I also love the tagline, mental health is not a side quest. That's brilliant, because it's not. It should always be a main quest. That is a crit path for real life. That's part of the crit path is taking care of your mental health.
Yes.
So, no, but Asa, thank you so much for being on the show again. We would love to have you back again anytime. Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on. All right. Well, as always, we do have to give a special thank you to everyone who watches in both our Patreon and YouTube audiences, because we love doing this with you 3 days a week. So thank you so much for being here. But we do, as always, have to give a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above. And I'm going to be reading both the producers and the EPs out today because we don't have a credit scroll today. Again, as I said, TNT's in a bit of a transitional phase. So I want to give all of our producers that love as well. And here we go. Our producers are Jared Edinger, Jacob One, Kurosame, Mikhail Walburn, Felix Nebulous, Don Koopman, Kevin Online, Sonic Kurosaki, Nick Munger, Arkwing24, Ben Madrin, Chase Talbot, Ben Hannigan, Chickens, Joshua Wiseman, Iggy Coop, Kieran Das, Feeling Dreepy, Meowsticks, Ariel H, Blindman, Ryan Sardon Keller, Shuckle25, Darts, DJ Andy D, Joseph Bayer, Pedro Vasquez, Tony, Albie the Floof, Ian Seabach, Ben Frick, Guy of Guyness, Ben Morelli, Emil, Farina Reneus, Andy Chung, PK Gaming, Legend of Jess, Shoichi, Chris Lewis, Daniel Codd, Bo Blacks, Gold Lichting, Smoko13, Michael Abuda, Akil P, Hello World, Alan Leung, Kristinton 2025, Coops Crib, Toast Cross Dimensions, Mega Amster, Nicholas Van Roven, Dean Evinger Jr., Chip Damage Mike, Abisola Osani, Jeff Ed, Ghost Wolf, Jack Hines, Blaystar 25, Inferno Cali, Tom Chimiak, Taco My Salad, Jax, Willow Pingree, Ghassan Abunura, Maya Caraway, The Frieza Force, and finally, Klaxon. Thank you all so much for supporting today's news tonight, because without your support, we couldn't do this show 3 times a week. Thank you so much. But as always, an extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, wonderful, amazing folks include Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Fangs, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Romsky113, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotik, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Pagrima, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Oram M, Sakuragi, Becca, Killamox, Fizzywig Hoyd, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, Deaneth, Kota, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Ryaner, Ditto M, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Rosa Pardo Bowling, hi Steve's mom, Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, Dark Steel 01, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Dinner Sonic, Darik, Chibi J, Stag Nasty, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Santi the Person, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Rizemon, and last but certainly not least, Helen Kincannon. Whew, that's a lot of names, a lot of love, a lot of support. Thank you so much, everybody. Your support truly does mean the world to us. If you are interested in finding out more about how you can support us on Patreon, head on over to patreon.com/gbgaming, where we offer a variety of tiers, and you can start supporting us for as little as $1 a month. But one of our most popular tiers is our live audience tier, where for $5 a month, you can engage with us and our special guests 3 times a week during today's news tonight in the live audience patron chat you see on your screen right now. But even if you can't support us on Patreon and you just support us here on YouTube, we love you all the same. You drop a like, a subscribe, ring that bell. Every little bit truly does help. And remember, when we hit 75,000 subs here on YouTube, someone's winning a Switch OLED. All you got to do is be subscribed to the channel when we hit 75K, and you might win. And if we hit 70K before November, Derek and I have committed to doing No Shave November, and we're at 69.6. It's looking like we might make it, so we'll see what happens.
Have, 10 days left?
Yeah, about 10 days. So if you can get us to 70K by November, you get to see Derek and I unshaven with way too much facial hair, and it's going to be a mess. But either way, we love you all. We will see you on Friday for episode 149 of Today's News Tonight, in which Steve will be back. So look forward to that, and we'll see you then. We love you, everybody. Good night and good vibes. Bye.
Bye.